Welcome back, guys. Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus, first podcast of the new year, 2019. And we are going to be talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and why, personally, we feel it sucks. They get it wrong. Why, in general, I just think it's bad for music. So that's tonight's topic. Stick around. You're listening to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus, changing rock history, one podcast at a time. All right, guys, welcome back to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus 2019 edition.
Yikes.
It's a virgin year. We are virgins, right, Lily? So just for a couple of virgins like us.
That's adorable.
All right. So, all right. We're have a good show tonight for you guys. Keith, I'm sure, is going to have a lot to say about the situation when he chimes in here in a little bit. So, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Every year I say I'm not doing another show on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and every year I get people saying, "What are you guys gonna do your show on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year?"
That's because people just want to talk about it. I don't know why.
Yeah, people
they want to bitch about it.
They love talking about it.
And I end up going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year just to go see all the new things, and I sort of get irritated when I'm there. First, when I have to pay the $35 to get in.
Well. We're going to talk about it because I think that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the museum,
it's great.
It's fine. That's not really what I'm kind of what I take issue with, so to speak. So we're going to get into all that in a few minutes. First of all, you're listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. You can find our website at loudinirockandrollcircus.com. Check back often. There's tons of great podcasts up there. We didn't do this last week. Since last week was actually Christmas Day, so I feel kind of like, I'm just kind of getting my legs back with this. But go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. There's tons of artist interviews, all kind of cool stuff from a lot of just great artists that do a lot of cool stuff, from like heavy rock and metal to all kinds of different stuff. Just great music there. So if you're a music fan, you want to learn about a lot of cool music, great place to check it out. Also, don't forget to check out the merchandise there, and we're going to be launching Patreon here probably next week, so I'll be really excited about that. So there'll be more about that coming up very soon with some exclusive T-shirts and exclusive access and all kind of fun stuff. So more about that coming up in a little bit. You can find out more at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. We have some bands we're going to play tonight. We're playing all bands that are brand new to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. We're not playing anybody that you heard before. So it's a new year. We're starting out new. We're starting out fresh. So we're going to rock it really hard. So I think we're going to just jump in with Lana Black. I met Lana this week. She friended me on Facebook. If you are a good artist, you have a good record, you have professionally recorded album, songs, EPs, whatever you're putting out, and you're in the hard rock, metal, rock and roll niche, hit me up, and this is how it gets done. Right, Lily?
And boom goes the dynamite.
And boom goes the dynamite. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. We were away. We're going to talk about the holidays a little bit. Lily had a big birthday this yesterday.
Yes,
so
I did have that.
So we're going to talk about Lily's birthday and everything. But I think we're going to just jump in right here. This is Lana Black, Suck You In on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus.
You thought you had it all under control, but then you met me. You fell down a deep dark hole, a place where rabbits go, a place where angels and demons play with your mind. A place where angels and demons play with your mind. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in, I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. Maybe you're heaven, maybe you're hell. Which one am I? The Riddler wouldn't be able to tell. Look in my eyes, manipulator of your soul. Which one am I? Manipulator of your soul. Which one am I? I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll climb on top of you, sink my teeth into your skin. I'll climb on top of you. I'll suck you in, I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. Even the devil was once an angel that fell from the sky. Down in the hole of a fallen angel, a place you'll never die. Even the devil was once an angel that fell from the sky. Down in the hole of a fallen angel, a place you'll never die. You thought you had it all under control, but then you met me. You fell down a deep dark hole, a place where rabbits go, a place where angels and demons play with your mind. A place where angels and demons play with your mind. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll climb on top of you, sink my teeth into your skin. I'll climb on top of you. I'll suck you in, I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in. I'll suck you in.
All right, that is Lana Black, and we have not had Lana on before. Lana's brand new to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. So let's go ahead and give you guys a little info on Lana. I met Lana this week. She hit me up on the old Facebook there, and we exchanged a few messages, and I checked out her stuff, and I went, this is really good. So you can go to lanablack.com, and it is B-L-A-K. I mean, B-L-A-C. I knew I was going to do that wrong. Don't say C. Don't say K. Don't say K. B-L-A-K. It's B-L-A-C. Lana Black, L-A-N-A-B-L-A-C.com. And she's got some cool videos and a whole thing going on there. Really great heavy rock. This was a track that was just released, I think towards the end of, I could have this wrong, back at least in 2018. And the track that we just listened to called Suck You In, very hooky, very catchy, but yet heavy. Loved it. We're going to have Toxic Zombie in a little while here. And
I liked her voice. Her voice was
yeah,
good.
she has a cool voice. Yeah, she's got a whole vibe going on. If you got her website, you know, she's like got like a whole thing going on with this sort of like, well, you know, kind of like you do. You have a whole like thing.
She's
going
got like a vampire thing.
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
She friended me last weekend too.
Yeah.
Hadn't really had a chance to check everything.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So guys can check that out at lanablack.com. So it was the holidays, and I know I've got on my like big fat boy pants because like I gained at least 10 pounds.
Oh, come on.
Just too much food. Just, you know.
We're Italian.
Yeah,
so
well that's
kind of a
part
thing.
of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely factors into it right there. So how was your holiday there, Lily girl?
My holiday was good. I actually went to New York, Rochester to visit Lance. So I spent the holidays with his family and him, and where all the children were ripping gifts open. So that was.
So was this the first time you met the family? You've met the family before?
I've met the family before.
Okay.
Very nice people. A lot of them. He has a lot of family. I'm not used to that. I don't have a very big family, so. But it was fun, and all the kids were tearing through gifts, and the food was great. I had deer roast.
Oh wow!
It was really good.
Roast deer.
Yes. And
roast Bambi.
I got caught up in that whole Bird Box movie too. So
I know.
right.
Wow! If you have not seen Bird Box,
And I know everybody's hyping it up on Facebook and like crapping on it. It's actually amazing. It was really good.
no, it's it's edge of seat type stuff, like nail biting. What the hell's going on? Sort of.
We watched that on Christmas Eve or Christmas evening.
So, anyways, oh goodness gracious. So, and how was the birthday?
The birthday was good. I had to work for a little bit yesterday, but work during the holidays is super slow, so it was quiet. And then we went to the casino, Meadows Casino, where every event in the world was going on, so everybody was there. They had bowling, they had night horse racing, there was a soul band playing. It was really good. I caught a little bit of them from the bar. Took forever to get drinks, but we had a lot of fun. And then we headed up to Frankie Eyes and continued our evening there, and then went home and drank more and crashed out on the couch.
And the rest, as they say, was history.
Pretty much. I didn't get hungover though.
I am. We stayed up really late last night. I went to bed like about 2:30.
Did you stay home?
Yeah, I just was home. Sharon and I hung out. We ate some food, and we were just listening to music, and looked at our clocks and realized, oh shit, it's like 11:59. So we just went right to YouTube and searched New Year's Eve 2019, and immediately came up, and we literally turned it on just in the last 30 seconds as we just watched the ball. Because you have to watch the ball. Did you watch the ball drop?
I was in a bar.
You were in a bar.
No, I didn't.
So you didn't actually watch the ball drop. So if you're not in a bar, that's what you do. You have to watch the ball drop. It's just like that's tradition. So we watched the ball drop and danced to Auld Lang Syne
And all the things.
and it was a big party. It was a good freaking time. We had I drank and ate and everything. Way too much though.
Total last minute decision to go out. My sister and I were going to stay in, and then we're like, let's just go out. We don't care. We had a DD, so it was fine. We drank all the things.
Well, nowadays you can Uber places too.
But Ubering on a holiday, they up the price.
Oh, I know. That's how it was last year.
It was like $100 last year. I wasn't even looking this year. I'm like, we have a DD. Let's just do this.
Yeah. If you have somebody who doesn't drink and who can drive you around, that's
and
better.
who doesn't mind.
Doesn't mind being the. So okay, that's cool. The Bird Box.
Oh God, that was so good. I was really dreading watching it because I'm like, oh, this doesn't sound like something I'll like. But no, I was hooked on it.
If you haven't seen it, go see it. Or go see it. We could just. It's on net. It's a Netflix original, and some of those Netflix originals are really, really good. Like, I mean, they're every bit as good as anything that like HBO was doing, like in its heyday. When it was doing The Sopranos and those type of shows. I mean,
I think I really need to get Netflix again. I canceled it and haven't had it in a while. And now all this stuff's coming out. I'm like, I'm gonna have to just jump on that train again.
Jump on the Netflix train.
Right.
So
a lot of things are coming out.
Yeah. So there's some good movies coming out in 2019 as well. The final installment of The Avengers is happening.
I don't watch.
I know you don't watch
movies.
that, so I'm pretty excited about that. But they'll do Captain Marvel first, so that's next. So anyway, 2019 is off to a little bit of a hungover start. Today was a kind of a. I did as much in the studio as I could, but like stuff that usually takes me 15 minutes took me 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because I was just so out of it.
I didn't roll out of bed till 3. So
actually, I started drinking again when right before the podcast, and this is like the best I felt all day.
Well, yeah, it's that's so true. I hate when people tell me to do that because that's like the last thing I want is to drink again when I'm hungover. It makes you feel great, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. It's like that's the old expression, hair of the dog, the bitch.
And I'm like, no, there's no way this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for, unfortunately, Disney movies coming out in 2019.
Okay, so what movies are you excited about?
Dumbo.
Dumbo.
I want to see that so bad. I can't wait. And then the other one.
That's gonna be a Tim Burton.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And then Aladdin, I think, is coming out too. So pretty excited for that. I know this is kind of like weird, and I'm not usually into Disney, but I like when they do the live action
Really?
stuff. I don't know
I
why
don't like
everybody
that.
hates it, and I like it.
I don't like.
I like
that.
to see their take on it.
I mean, to me, Disney is animation,
Yeah, which is
and that's
yeah,
what I want
get it.
Disney to
You want it
do.
to be cartoons.
But speaking of cartoons, I went to see a very cartoonish kind of movie. This was not my. Well, I didn't not want to see this, but the girlfriend, Sharon, she wanted to see it, so we ended up going to see Bumblebee.
Oh yeah, how was
And
that?
I got to talk about this before Keith comes on. You went to see what? You're stupid. But it's very Bumblebee is it's check your brain at the door. It's a popcorn movie, you know.
Oh yeah.
But the characters are really good, and it has a great '80s soundtrack. It's set in the '80s.
Oh really?
And it has these one great '80s
Now
song
I have to watch it.
after another, just like all over the place, everything you could imagine, from like John Parr to the Smiths. Like,
Oh my god.
like
Was
it's
it
like,
St. Elmo's Fire?
No, St. Elmo's Fire's not in it. I think Naughty Naughty is the song that gets played.
I saw Beautiful Boy.
Is that good?
It was pretty good. Do you know what it's about?
No.
Okay, it's this kid who gets like really heavy into drugs. Steve Carell is his father. Like he starts getting into them when he's like 17, and he keeps, you know.
Oh yeah, I saw the
Okay.
trailers. Okay, so
It was really good, and like.
is it a crying movie?
I mean, you could. I didn't. So
You could cry
you could, but I
if you were somebody with emotions.
I have no heart or feelings.
You're like a heartless, wench.
Yeah, I sold my soul
Ah.
for concert tickets. Apparently. Oh my. Oh, it's
my!
Keith.
Oh my! Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Mwah.
Hold on, let me record you.
What do you mean?
All right, we're recording you. All right, Mr. Keith, what's going on, big guy? And you got to get close to that thing and talk up where we can hear you.
Why are you recording me? What's going on? Why you got to do that? You holding something against me or what? Something.
Of course, we have to record you. Happy New Year.
How are you?
IR, great.
IR? Okay. So, yeah, man. I'm not feeling good today, though. I'm not feeling good today.
What happened last night?
January 1st. You shouldn't.
That was like peer pressure things, where people make me drink and shit like that.
People,
Oh, yeah.
people just make
I'm
you
sure
drink.
they twisted that arm.
Lily
good.
and I were not there, so you can't blame us.
Not this time.
No, not at all. Just the voices in my head make me sometimes things that I don't want to do. But other than that, yeah, it's so we're off and running January 1st, and here we are, another year. Let's see what happens.
Just another day.
So, tell us. We're just kind of reviewing the holidays a little bit and talking about what we did and everything. What did you do last night? Were you just at home or did you go out?
Yeah, I stayed home. I just didn't really. Samantha was working until 6 o'clock or something. So by the time she gets home, it's after 7, and we really didn't do too much. Sat out back, fire. The
So
dog.
Samantha was peer pressuring you. Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. She don't.
Drink more, Keith.
She just probably wishes I drink less, but that's too damn bad sometimes. But Christmas was chill, mellow. I don't think I've, this was like a very non-hectic Christmas, we'll say.
Did you have any family come down to see you guys over Christmas?
No,
No.
I have people coming through January and February. I have a couple people coming down, but other than that, it's not, no one really family related. Let's just, my stepdaughter coming down at the end of February possibly, but that's a possibility. I don't know if it's going down or what. But we have a friend coming down in January, and we have some a guy I used to be in a rock band with back in PA is coming down with his wife. So we have some visitors coming through January and February. So let the visits begin.
People coming to get away from the
Visiting
weather up here.
season.
Yeah, for sure. So have you have you seen any good movies? Seen any good shows? Anything like that?
There's a couple movies I'd like to see that I haven't got around to seeing yet, but I mean, I really haven't watched anything too. I've been watching the same old stuff, man. I don't know what's with the cable around here because they show the same damn 4 or 5 movies every day in a rotation. Like there's not even flick through 500 channels and nothing on. I don't know what the hell the problem.
What? So you watched some old movies? What'd you see?
Not so much old movies, but movies I've seen a bunch of times. Like I watched Goodfellas a lot.
Oh yeah,
That's always on.
Always, yeah, exactly.
Every day that movie is on.
I've watched three Billboards a bunch of times again. That's always on HBO. Have you ever seen the movie Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges?
I would like to. I've heard that it's good.
It's a really good movie. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny in spots, and it's kind of sad because he's it's like an older like country singer is like kind of down on his luck. He's like playing shitty gigs, and he finally but he's a songwriter and he gets a break, and kind of goes movie kind of goes around that. But Jeff Bridges is great, man. Whatever he does usually, so it's a really good movie. It's a little older. I think it's over 10 years old at this point, but it's a really good flick. But other than that, man, like I said, it's just been Circus on all the time, Silence of the Lambs. But there's movies I've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Right.
So, still great movies, but I mean, I wish something else would come on. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to call and talk to somebody.
Well, Lily and I were both talking about the Bird Box. Have you heard about Bird Box?
With the Bird Box, man. You know what? The Bird Box is funny because I should probably take some legal action because when I was a kid, I used to call my underwear the Bird Box. That's what that was.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of Bird Box.
That's what I thought. Is it on what? Netflix or what's
It's on Netflix. Sandra, what's her name?
Bullock.
Sandra, I want to call her Sandra Barnhart. It's not Sandra Barnhart. Sandra Bullock with a B, and John Malkovich.
Which his character's hysterical
yeah,
as
his
usual.
character's
He plays
great.
the same guy.
Yeah, it's definitely. I thought it was very suspenseful.
I like
John Malkovich is so cool to actually name the movie after him.
Ah.
So, John Malkovich. So,
Truth.
you got to be pretty cool to do that.
So,
But yeah, there's a buzz about that. Is this series or just one movie?
it's a movie. It's a one.
movie.
It's just a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's not too long. It's just like the right length and they tell the story really good. That's they go between the present and the past. They go back and forth. And
I recommend it.
Yeah, I would say just check it out. I mean, see what
I'll
you
give it
think.
As long as it's not super long, I can't really sit through.
No, it's not one of those 3-hour jobs.
No,
it's
it's
under
not
2
short,
hours.
but
That's like maybe an hour and a half.
Regular movie length.
Yeah, it's like regular movie. It's not one of those epics. So and
That's
there's no hobbits in it, so you'll be happy.
Or Muppets.
Or
There's
Muppets.
no Muppets in it.
Yeah, there's just something about Muppets that are creepy.
And there's no CGI stuff, so I think you'll like it. But,
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I really, I gravitate towards like mostly slasher movies where someone's getting hacked up. There's a chainsaw, that's cool with me. Sometimes sometimes if there's a clown in the sewer, that's a cool one.
I know.
That's
Yeah, clowns.
Clown
none
in
of
the
that
sewer.
though, right?
I like the movie. I'm not into clowns.
There's a band named the Sewer Clowns.
Oh my god.
Right.
You're always gonna be able to band names.
So speaking of band names and music, we haven't even gotten to this yet, but you want to talk about, we're going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know you have something to say about it, but I think we've been kind of talking for a while here while waiting for you to come on. So we're going to play a song and then we're going to come back and we're going to get into this whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nonsense. And it is fucking nonsense. This is a band called Toxic Zombie, Stranger Things, on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus.
It's getting pretty hard to breathe.
Toxic Zombie, Stranger Things, just like the television show. Hold on, we're looping here. No, Lana, you already had your turn. And you go to toxiczombie.com. Really fun song. There's a cool video to it. So if you go to toxiczombie.com, you can check that out. And so we're getting into it. So no more screwing around. Let's talk about this hard rock. Hard rock. This what's it called? Hard Rock Hall of Fame. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You were close.
Something like that.
A
So
lot of people want the Hard Rock Hall of Fame. They would probably just have. They should just have separate ones for everything.
Well, we should.
I mean, it's unfortunately not going to work like that. It's
No.
it's a touchy situation. What can I tell you?
So, okay. First of all, do you want to run? I'd like you guys to say because there's like 17 or something like that, and then they narrowed it. We're like 12 or something. They narrowed it down to
I have 7.
7. But it started out with 12. Do you have? I have that. Hold on, I'll give it to you guys.
Okay,
Yeah, hold
I
on.
can pull it up. I found a website though where they named the best to the worst inductees, and oh my god, it's awful.
Well, here's where back in October. Here's where the ones that you could pick from, and I guess you could literally go and vote.
I did.
You did? Okay. And here they are, Keith, in case you didn't know which one. I think you do. But it was Def Leppard in alphabetical order, apparently. Def Leppard, Devo, Janet Jackson, John Prine, Kraftwerk, LL Cool J, MC5, Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine, Roxy Music, Rufus featuring Chaka Khan, Stevie Nicks, The Cure, The Zombies, and Todd Rundgren. Rundgren.
That guy.
So those were the things you could vote for. What did it come down to, Lily?
They are inducting The Cure, Def Leppard, Janet Jackson, Stevie Nicks, Radiohead, Roxy Music, and the Zombies.
All right, I'm gonna Keith, go ahead. We haven't talked to you for a while, so why don't you jump in and give us your thoughts on what's going on?
And this whole thing, no matter who you pick, there's always going to be some band that gets thrown in there that chaps everybody's ass for whatever reason.
Every time.
Because you don't like the band. Let me look into the camera and tell everybody out there. Just because you don't like the band doesn't mean other people don't. These people are on the ballot for a reason. They've done stuff. I mean, people can bitch about, I've heard people say, hip hop shouldn't be allowed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, you go tell the Beastie Boys that then. They're kind of rock and roll, and they kind of did their own thing with hip hop. So you can't just have exceptions to the rule and be like, well, we'll let the Beastie Boys in because they use guitars and shit like that and everything. No, it's one where you can't just have it every other way. It's just one way or that's it. You're in. Bands that are influential because you don't like them. There's a ton of bands I don't like, and they're freaking in there. But hey, I'll give credit where credit's due. I mean, you have to have. To me, the body of work should be there. If you have 2 albums that are really, really good and you're in there, well, that's, to me, that's, I don't know how long that better be 2 kick-ass albums, you know what I mean? I like the longevity of bands that make it. There's bands that, like a band like Devo. I mean, they didn't get the final thing, but they don't sound like everybody else. Devo's kind of unique, man. The Cure is a band that I probably would never listen to. But I agree with the fact that they should be in there. They were at the forefront of that alternative music wave that came around, that started alternative music. They were in there in the beginning, and they sounded like nobody else, To me, there's a band, I'll beat the drum again, a band like Radiohead, to me, is arguably the most influential rock band of the last 25 years. They just don't care what they do. They started out as a guitar-driven band. Everybody knows Creep, and then you don't know any other songs, so you dog them. But that band has done pretty much anything they wanted to do, and it's been successful. They've gone from just a straight rock alternative band to. Serious? Am I in?
You're in.
You good?
Well, you're going, dude. We can hear you. You're getting it. Go.
But they've gone, straight from a straight ahead guitar-driven rock alternative band to a band that just experiments with electronics. A band that just has no real. They defied genre, man. After a while, they just kind of just really went and did their own thing. Every album's different. I like shit like that as a musician. I don't want to hear the same fucking album 25 times. Then I'm talking about bands like the Rolling Stones. How great are the Rolling Stones? They're a great band, but have they really ever made music that was like holy shit, this is the Rolling Stones. They're doing something really different. I understand that if it works, like a band like AC/DC, it works. But it's not like these bands are like reinventing the fucking wheel. You know what I mean? It's just, I like bands that that take chances. And I'm not saying AC/DC is not great. They're awesome. The Stones are great. They're awesome. But like, to me, when I hear a band that has some balls to do whatever they want to do and don't get stuck in the whole just regurgitating the same thing over and over again, I like that. And bands that make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that have a little bit more edge to them, that have some versatility, that's what I think bands, I'm not saying they're not, more deserving or less deserving than others, but they should be definitely in there. So bands that, just because, like I said, you don't like them, that doesn't mean they're not good. These bands have, staying power. They're around. That's why they're in there. So, I mean, that's my whole long-winded version.
I think here's what I just want to kind of just draw out real quickly is there's some Janet Jackson doesn't deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. She has one rock song. Every other song she does is R&B. She has one rock song. It's a great rock song, and she's great. I love Janet Jackson. I mean, if she comes on, I Miss You Much, or one of the songs come on the radio, I crank it up. But she's not a rock artist. Sorry. Done.
No.
I have to.
But here's my issue. Here's one of the things I want to say about it. First of all, the thing that I think has to be part of it is, were you influential? Did you inspire other bands to like do stuff? And there's one band that's getting inducted that I think is a good band and had some big songs, but I don't know one band that says that they were influenced by Def Leppard. Not
That's
one.
true.
Like, and they were a popular band and they had some pop hits that were fun and well produced, and I get it, but even Kiss, is a band that like, well, I know you hate Kiss, but there's a lot of people that came after Kiss that were like, oh my God, Kiss was
my influence.
Pearl Jam says Kiss was a big influence on me. Like, a lot of bands say Kiss was a big influence. They moved it forward, whether you liked it or not. They did influence a lot of other people, but bands like Def Leppard and like, I don't know, has Journey ever been in there? Journey, Bon Jovi, people like that. I'm like, you guys are like popular.
Last time. I think it was
they're popular, but like, what did they do to advance music? When I hear bands like Journey and Bon Jovi, to me, it's like, it's just
Bon Jovi is in.
It's, to me, that's like the McDonald's of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's cool. And, sure, I'll eat McDonald's once in a while too. But, it's not. So I kind of have an issue with that. Also, the thing is like, I don't know how you do this. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit, because this isn't fucking basketball where you can, if this team scores more baskets than that team, then this team wins. Right. This is music. It's completely personal. It's completely up to what you like. There's a lot of music. We go around. There's all bands here that like one of us likes and the other two of us fucking think sucks.
No, all of us. Everybody.
That's true with everybody. So how do you make that? How do you even come to that? But we'll get into that. That's another topic I want to get into later. But Lily, what are your sort of thoughts on the situation?
So I agree with the Janet Jackson thing. I don't know that she should necessarily be in it. And is it even like, I know you have to be doing music for a certain number of years, which is probably around she's probably right there.
Oh, yeah, hell
on
yeah,
that, right?
Of course, yeah.
I think you have to put in the time and the work. Like, there are bands before Def Leppard that are like Def Leppard that probably should be in. I mean, I like that Def Leppard's in, obviously. It's one of my favorite bands, so I'm like all for it. But however, there are bands prior to Def Leppard that should be in there. I think that's why I get so mad at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because I'm like, they shouldn't even be on the list yet. This band should not be on the list yet. There's other bands that were before that. And I know everybody's going to say, oh my God, I think Motley Crue should have at least been on some sort of a nomination sort of thing at one point of time. 1981, they started sort of that whole dirty hair metal sort of thing. I think they should have been on it, at least, not necessarily in, but at least on a ballot somewhere.
I think they were a band that was influential in their day.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands like Britney Fox and some of these bands that came after were definitely, owed a lot to Motley Crue.
Right.
You know,
Well,
so I would say that for sure.
Not even necessarily in, but at least on a ballot somewhere. And I don't know. That I just get mad because I feel some of these bands are too soon getting in.
Like,
Well, I don't think
Gotta say
Def
it.
Leppard this year. I don't really know much about The Cure. They're probably around.
The Cure has been around a long
Forever.
time. And that is a band that, like, again, I'm kind of with Keith. Like, I probably wouldn't go out and buy any of their records.
Yeah.
But I recognize that, like, they've been hugely influential. Tons of bands. Radiohead is influenced by The Cure. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people were influenced by The Cure. And that Robert Smith is a very interesting guitar player. I mean, he's, you know, and that's another thing. Like, if you're rock, I'm sorry. The guitar has to be a big part of what they do.
Right.
And a lot of stuff real quick about Radiohead, a lot of stuff that Radiohead does that sounds electronic isn't. It's guitars. They're just they're doing different stuff with the guitars and stuff like that to create different sounds. They're a very innovative band, very influential band. And if we had to have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, apparently we have to. I agree that was a band that's like really important, especially for more current, you know, from like the 90s on. Right, that's when they broke. They broke like in the early '90s. I mean,
you can't even be on the ballot unless you have 25 years, I believe, after your first.
I mean, I think like so many people go back to OK Computer, bands like Coldplay and tons of bands go back to that record and are like, oh my God, that record. They heard that record and it like changed everything for them. I think, you know, a lot of bands. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lily.
The one of the bands, and it wasn't this year, but I didn't think Nirvana had its time just yet. When it was, yes, they should be in there eventually. But I thought at the time, and I don't know when this was, like 2-3 years ago now, I think it was too soon for them. They were right on the cusp of that 25 years. I think they just gave it to them because it was the anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death. Like, I don't like factors like that. Don't give it to them just because of stuff like that.
Well, there is open voting. Like you said, you did vote.
I did do that,
Yeah.
yes. Every day
So
that I could do it, I did it.
Fans do get a voice in this, you know. So what we can say about that?
How much of a voice do we actually get to? Are they doing it to appease us, to let us think that we're actually getting a vote? Or
Oh, okay. All right. This is becoming at the Joe Rogan show, like with the conspiracies and everything.
it's not. I mean, you know, I don't. Do we actually like? Do we have proof of this? I don't know. I feel like maybe it's overlooked and they just kind of like do it to shut us up.
What else do you want to talk about with regards to the Hall of Fame?
Oh, that's all I got.
I want to say, I mean, in terms of people that are influential that are in, Stevie Nicks. I mean, I don't know. There's no girl singer who is not influenced by Stevie Nicks. You talk to any girl singer
In all aspects.
Sheryl Crow is influenced by Stevie Nicks. Like everybody owes something to Stevie Nicks. I totally get it. Like,
Isn't she the first female in there twice now?
Well, she was in for Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, so she's the only female in there twice.
Is
I
she?
believe. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't, you know. So I totally get it. Whoops.
That's all.
I mean, whether you're a big Stevie Nicks fan or not, again, it's not so much about that, and it shouldn't be about that. You should be able to look at it somewhat objectively and recognize, well, it's, you know, but like, now who are the ones that actually got it? Because I read the ones that were
The Cure, Def Leppard, Janet Jackson, Stevie Nicks, Radiohead, Roxy Music, and the Zombies.
I mean, if you're going to
The Zombies are old.
The Zombies, I mean, they're original, one of those progenitors, that's 60s, you know. But if you're going to put Janet Jackson, where's LL Cool J was nominated?
Why not LL?
Why not LL Cool J? I mean, he was a rapper who influenced a lot of other rappers. Again, I like LL Cool J. I think he did some cool music.
I'm not gonna
but
lie, I have
it's
2 songs on my
not
iPod.
rock. It's like
It's not.
It's not rock.
At all, but wasn't rock at all.
No, not even close. No,
Nothing.
no. So just like, you know, just enough with that. But so this is why I think the whole thing is stupid. Like, because we have to have this discussion. If there was what they should just do is just have the museum there, have different rotating things. You know, we're celebrating
Music.
this month, and maybe they do a thing. We're celebrating the influence of hip hop, and they do a thing on it, and they just do it, and it comes and goes, and it goes back to a room, and then they bring out whatever, and just
They do sort of do that.
too fun, and that should be it. This whole ceremony thing is just, first of all, they don't even have the fucking ceremony at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Not
They have it
anymore,
in
they
fucking
don't.
New York City, in Brooklyn. I mean, you know, it's completely disingenuous. And how do we pick? Like, I just don't think it's right. I personally think that things like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame bullshit, American Idol, the Grammys.
I hate American Idol.
you know, the CMAs. I think that fucking shit is ruining music because you shouldn't have to compete. Like, okay, Keith, your band, the original band, you Black Laurel.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you? I mean, like, how do you judge like that? You know, is this better than that? Is this band, you know, is this band good? What is that? Like, doesn't even fucking compute in my brain how you.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a bunch of shit. It's confusing at times. I don't know how they get, you know, what's their rules and shit that they're doing. I don't know these people that are voting for this kind of stuff. Are they even musicians? I mean, I think that, you know, I couldn't even name one person on these that sit there and make the final cuts on these. I mean, I don't know who these people are, but you got to sometimes wonder what the hell they're thinking. But
well, I mean, you're thinking that, and I'm thinking that, and Lily's thinking that, but that's because we just like what we like, and that's my point. Is there an objective way to judge music, and should we even judge it? I mean, you know what modernism is? I mean, that's where, like, you know, the classical composers in the 20th century, they threw out everything. They threw out chords, they threw out the scale, you know, and they would, you know, make noises with, you know, all kind of stuff. And, you know, people would go to Heinz Hall, you know, like they were listening to symphony and go like, that's deep. You know, well, if that's your thing and you like it, that's cool. So if there are no rules, how can you have any of this?
I have the eligibility right here.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. And this is coming straight from the rockandrollhallofame.com. Artists eligibility, a group of encompassing performers, composers, and or musicians becoming eligible for induction 25 years after the release of their first commercial recording. Besides demonstrating unquestionable musical excellence and talent, inductees will have to have a significant impact on the development, evolution, and preservation of rock and roll.
Of rock and roll. Of
Not
rock
music.
and roll. Of rock and roll.
That's the eligibility to get in the Hall of Fame, according to rockandrollhallofame.com.
And you mentioned, I know, Keith, you mentioned the Beastie Boys. I agree with the Beastie Boys because they were as rock and roll as they were hip hop, they were everything else. You know, they weren't as cross, but LL Cool J and Janet Jackson are not.
Can't make the exception for people, though. You know,
it's not an exception. I'm not making an exception.
I mean, the point is, if you're, like I said, the Beastie Boys are in there, they deserve to be in there. But like I said, there'd probably be people out there saying the same thing. Well, if the Beastie Boys are in there, why isn't LL Cool J? Well, they're not. Should be putting Public Enemy in because, you know, all this other stuff. So because they're very hard edged, a hell of a lot more hard edged than freaking LL Cool J. But I mean, but it's just at the end of the day, rock and roll, they just paint that with a broad brush.
Yeah, very broad.
Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to read this part. Ballots are then sent to more than 1,000 historians, members of the music industry, and artists, including every living Rock Hall inductee. And the 5 performers receiving the most votes become that year's induction class. Beginning in 2012, fans were given the chance to vote. For the nominees they'd like to see inducted into the Rock Hall, the top 5 vote getters in the public poll from one ballot, which is weighted the same as the rest of the submitted ballots. So they say.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, especially if you love a band. I think some bands get in because I don't know how long you're allowed to like hang around, we'll say, on the ballot. But, you know, if there's a band that's been around for, you know, since the 60s or 70s and they're still hanging around and basically they're just, you know, the judges year after year, like kind of just give them the cold shoulder, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of like maybe newer bands compared to them where you're like, well, you know, I really grew up with the Zombies and I want to put them in because that was my shit back in the day and I don't like Radiohead or whatever, you know.
I mean, that very well could be what's happening in some cases.
They try to get inside these people's heads what they're thinking, you know. Yeah, but I think sometimes it's like any sports Hall of Fame or any kind of Hall of Fame that you're thinking of where people last a certain amount of time and they almost like it's the point where it's almost like a pity thing, you know. It's like, well, just put so and so in. Like for instance, Stevie Nicks being in twice. I mean, she's already in there once for Fleetwood Mac. That's her body of work that I think she would be remembered by. Is her solo shit really that good?
I think it was, and I think it influenced.
I do like a lot of it,
I
but-
think it influenced a lot of young women. They saw her out there by herself doing her thing, and I think that it really was very powerful for a lot of for a lot of young women to get into music. I mean, you don't, even though you don't particularly love what she does. That's like shouldn't we the three of us should try to be a little objective because
It's hard though
because we're in the media here. We can't just be like, well, I like it, and that's
why they should be in.
Yeah, that's
right.
the only criteria is if I like it.
I just feel it should be a length of time. Stick to that length of time and then put in the work for it. I don't know. That's what I think. It should
Well, it
be.
is 25 years since your first record.
Yeah, I know.
What's your bitch about that, though?
Well, just like I said, though, some people shouldn't be in it if other people haven't even been in it yet. Like Def
Okay.
Leppard shouldn't maybe. Like
Who would
that
you
was-
say? So you think Motley Crue should be in?
I think they should
before
have at
Def Leppard?
least been on a nomination somewhere. Not even necessarily in, because I don't know. It's probably not their time necessarily yet. I know it's been like 37 years, but they should have at least been nominated. I don't know. Look how long it took Kiss to get in, even. And they're influential to a lot of bands. A lot of the bands I even interview locally took them forever to get in. They've been around since the 70s.
I don't know. I like I said, I just think that the whole. I mean, you mentioned like the like the Hall of Fame, like for sports.
I don't know anything about
In
that.
my opinion, that's completely different because that's measured on those are things that are completely totally measurable. You had so many runs, you threw so many passes, you shot so many baskets. Boom. There's not a fucking argument. There's nothing you can say about that. And Pete Rose, should be in there. But in any case, that's another.
It's another day.
Because he did the shit. So what? He gambled. I
There
mean,
was a lot of controversy this year about a guy that was a designated hitter. So, I mean, my point is sometimes going back to that is if you last long enough on the ballot, eventually somebody's going to be like, well,
I don't want it to be a pity party.
yeah. But that's how people think about it, though. And that's how people look like, oh, I like so-and-so, even though he was a designated hitter and just, he didn't even play the field. He just hit. There was a guy that made it this year, and they made a big stink about that. The guys at DH all his career had good numbers, but he didn't play the field, so is he better than?
But he had numbers, and then what I'm saying is in music.
Yeah, but his
Okay,
numbers
and
weren't
if this is
terrible
going to
to a
be,
lot of-
if this is going to be a popularity contest, then let's make it a popularity contest. How many records did you sell? And just do it like that.
Oh, man.
Just do it like that, and that'll be the end of it. This when you get into trouble is where it's art and people are trying to judge
too
art
personal.
and like how can you
It's too personal.
I mean I never agreed with that. I mean because there's artists who I think are absolutely terrible. That I'm like, really? But I know people like that listen to that music and are really it really speaks to them and they really get into. Okay, it isn't up to me to tell you that sucks. Then, if you like it, you like what you like.
This is true.
So just my sort of opinion is like, how do you judge? I mean, all those singers on American Idol, my opinion, they're terrible.
I can't stand
I mean, I think the guys that are really like great vocalists are the people that really can like put their balls into it. And yeah, maybe it's a little wonky. Maybe there's a little weird pitch here and there, or they get off mic a little bit once in a while. I mean, if you really listen to like guys like Robert Plant and Rod Stewart and Ian Gillan and Ozzy Osbourne, Ronnie James Dio. I mean, none of those guys would make it on American
I
Idol.
absolutely, completely, 1,000% disagree with American Idol and The Voice. I don't like any of it. For you getting a contract for music should not be a contest. You should have earned that shit.
I heard Tom Petty put it this way. He said, rock stars now are made on game shows.
Yes, and that's true, and it pisses me off.
That's launched show, whether you like it or not, has launched a ton of careers for people. People that have done well for themselves.
Yeah, and they're all terrible.
And they've been
They're all
given the
terrible.
chance,
They're
basically.
all
Why don't you
terrible.
work for it?
There's been a couple who I thought had some soul. There's been like just a handful over the years, but for the most part, they don't pick anybody good. They just pick people that can do vocal act, that are the most precise vocally, that can nail every pitch perfectly. That's not fucking singing. Okay, tell that to the people that love Bob Dylan and Tom Waits. Tell that to the people that love Mick Jagger. Tell that to really.
Music's different now. It's marketability too.
It sucks though.
Well, Led Zeppelin sold millions of records. It was marketable. My bitch is that, like, if they would just put it out there, don't judge it, put it out there and let people listen. I think there would be way more eclectic sounds happening. But the problem is it's too corporatized. We totally lost the whole, any sort of like people that were involved in the sort of big time music business that were adventurous and wanted to put out new sounds. They're gone. That's all gone. That's all gone the way of places like this. This is where you hear
the new stuff.
Like anything that's kind of interesting. You hear on shows like the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, Rock Rage Radio, different bloggers and stuff like that. And a buddy of mine is writes for a British news magazine. Music magazine called Fresh on the Net. And a lot of that stuff is really interesting. I don't personally like it all, but I go like, these kids are doing like really creative stuff. They're like they're really trying to push music in different directions, and this is where it is now. It's gone from the big corporatized stuff. It's like, it's totally homogenized. Even country, dude.
What they try to pass off as country nowadays is embarrassing.
Pop.
And I'm not really a huge country fan, but that's what I like about when a breath of fresh air comes along, like a Sturgill Simpson, like a Chris Stapleton. That's country.
And that music, every once in a while, artists like that will seep through, and people respond to it. They like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those guys have a following. They're not That's
some soulful shit, man. That's some really soulful shit. That's country music. That's how country was
meant to be.
Okay, let's go around the room. Let's go around the room. Let's pretend. Let's play pretend for a minute. We'll go around the room here, and let's say we'll pretend that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is totally legitimate. It is just like a place, like a sort of homage to great music. No voting, no nothing. Okay, you walk into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Who would you like to see picture on the wall being sort of like honored or recognized?
Who's not already in?
Who's not already in.
Shit.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the Hawkster.
This person can't be already in? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to be too strict about it, but I don't know everybody who's in. I mean, we don't.
I do.
I mean,
No, I don't.
Lily knows everybody's been in. But say you walk in. Okay, and if you want to pick two or three, go ahead. You walk into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's not like it is. It's an actual, like, Hall of Fame. It's an actual kind of, like, just honoring great music. No competition, no nothing. You walk in, who would you love to see on the wall? Who's picture on the wall? Guitar hanging on the wall, whatever. Drum set hanging on the wall.
You done? That puts me on the spot too much because it's the fact where everybody that I would think that would be on the wall when I walked in there is already in there. When I see there should be a picture of fucking the Beatles. There should be a picture of Chuck Berry. There should be a picture of Led Zeppelin. I mean, these guys are, to me, influential in rock, and they were huge for a reason. I mean, that's what I want to see when I walk into somewhere where I'm going to be just totally captivated by the first thing I see. I don't want to walk into somewhere and there's a picture of, unfortunately, some, watered down pop singer that sells a bunch of records and might get in one day, and it's probably going to be ridiculous when they do, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, everybody that I would want to see on the wall has already been there. That's, at least they got something right. Because there's a lot of the artists that are in the Rock and Roll of Fame do deserve to be in it. Some not so much. I mean, that's a varying opinion. But I mean, there's certain bands that you'd want to see on that wall, or artists, where they're going to be on every wall of every Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm gonna name one that was on this year's list but did not get inducted, and that's the MC5. It has influenced everybody, like very influential band, very in your face, kind of like the picture of rock and roll. Very important band. And I would love to walk in and see some homage to MC5. Are they? No, are they? No, they're not Toto. They're not like the greatest technical musicians. That's not what rock necessarily. In the case of Rush, that's part of it. But in the case of the MC5 and bands like that, that's not what they were doing. They were about bringing that energy and that vibe and that viciousness. So I would want to. So that would be kind of. I'm just pulling one out off of the list of ones from this year. So what would you say?
I'm gonna say 2. So Iron Maiden and Dio. I mean, I know that's more heavy metal. Whatever.
No, of course, no, it doesn't matter.
But I feel like, Dio probably more so than Iron Maiden. But either one of those. I mean, Dio, he's completely influential. He's been in more than one band. He's been solo. He's fantastic.
And so many singers are like, oh my God, Dio.
I can't believe he's not in. So
yeah,
I always say that every year. I'm like, yeah, Dio's not getting in this year.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. That'd be somebody
with the horns, like a giant picture, a painting with the horns going up there, and with his short little self,
Yeah,
he fits in my purse. I love it.
Little montage there of all the different things he's done and how important he's been.
I would like that. Someone actually chimed in with Diamond Head, Motorhead, Misfits, and then Dio was on that list.
Okay, so you're the lady with the comments here. So,
I'm the comment lady.
She's going to run down a few comments and we're going to wrap up.
We have a couple new people. Looks like that's not new. Brandy and Bobby Cummings watching. Chris Thunderwolf watching. Happy New Year's. Daryl Joe first time watching. Happy New Year. Douglas Lynn Phillips, Bob Piercy, Jace. Sorry if I screw up your name. I'm not good at that. Tim Johnson, Damien, Dee Bullets watching. Hi, Lance. You're watching.
Lance.
Josh Montador is the one who said the band, so he chimed in with his picks if he, had the chance to choose. And that's pretty much all who's commented. So.
Well, we do appreciate it. Let's go. If we have any parting thoughts, Keith, anything you want to add to tonight's discussion? Oh, you know what? There's something I want to bring up. Let's get off the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, wait, I have one more. Joe Bonamassa. Someone just chimed in.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
He said he was going to get flack for saying it. He private messaged me.
Yeah, get the hell out of here with that shit.
I have some notes here and a couple of things I want to run down. And let's get off we're done with the rock and roll Hall of Fame bullshit.
Because Lance is over, or not Lance. No, sorry, Lou's over it. Sorry, I got Lance on the brain.
Lance is on something else too.
Yeah.
So
take it easy, Lily. Jesus.
Oh, stop.
I mean, Lily needs a cold shower before we continue the podcast.
That's all right. I'm on FaceTime later. We're good.
Let's talk a little bit about a couple things that happened in the news recently in rock. Have you guys heard about Pat O'Brien of Cannibal Corpse?
What happened? Oh, yes.
Where you get that hurricane down, Pat O'Brien's down in the French Quarter.
Yes, that too. But no, oh my gosh, this was a crazy story.
This guy,
What'd he do?
he got arrested. He was out terrorizing his neighbors.
Pretty much.
He terrorized his neighbors, and so the cops, come to his house, and they found he's got a total munitions depot in his house with tons of assault. And I understand it's very politically incorrect today to be a gun person, so that's part of it. But there's actually human skeletons they found locked in safes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with that guy?
Cannibal Corpse.
That's what I mean. If you're going to, he said he's out terrorizing his neighbors. Maybe you do a little research before you move into a place, and then you're like, honey, I really love his house.
He had to have been on something.
It's right next to Pat O'Brien from Cannibal Corpse. I'd be like, yeah, it's not living right now. For all I know, he has a head in the refrigerator and he got skeletons in the closet. Real skeletons, though.
Oh, he's not Dahmer. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, the gun thing is I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but I mean, it's politically incorrect right now. So I get, why people that would be in the news, but I think the human skeletons thing is real. I think we can all agree that's probably a problem.
Yeah, we're living
maybe.
king all of a sudden.
I might have human skeletons at the house. You don't know. You've only been in my living room, basically.
No.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
you got
Go ahead.
human skeletons in your house, man. I mean, hey, you don't have to be Dahmer, but what the hell's going on there? What is your train of thought where you actually have a human skeleton or multiple in your house? It's not Halloween every day, Pat. What are you doing with those, man?
He's a hoarder.
It's actually, I believe that it's illegal. Like you have to get like for like a university to have an actual human skeleton, like for like classes or whatever. They need all kind of like written shit saying that was okay to do. Like you can't just like
You can't just have them.
Yeah, you just can't have that.
Well, now I want one because I can't.
Well, they make tons of like replicas and stuff that are indistinguishable.
That's not the same.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, see, Lily here is explaining it. So Lily and Pat are gonna like hang out later.
Maybe you don't know. Who knows?
There's a in a follow-up story. There was a rash of grave diggings. For that, so he dug up a few. So your Uncle Pete's at his house in his basement.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk. And this is another thing that's been like going. This is like really fresh. There's been these rumors going around that the original Van Halen, including Michael Anthony, is going to reunite and they're going to tour in 2019.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I heard the opposite. I heard that was bullshit.
Michael Anthony is denying it. Okay, but like Eddie Trunk's interpretation of that is like Michael Anthony doesn't have the clout or whatever. Doesn't have the permission or whatever to really come out and say that that's true. He's sort of like taking the fifth on it. That's Eddie Trunk's sort of interpretation of it. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean,
that'd be cool.
I mean, would it be cool?
I think it would be.
Like I saw a video from the thing they did a few years ago, and I actually thought it was kind of embarrassing.
You think they'd be?
David Lee Ross is joking. I mean, he's just lounge singer, man. I mean, that's they need to hang that shit up. That's not good. I mean, this dude's just like basically dancing around.
It won't happen.
Fucking up all the words. I mean, come on, Dave.
I mean, I'm a huge Van Halen fan, and I'm one of the rare people that liked all three Van Halens. Actually,
stop that.
Get that away.
But I don't think that they should do anything. They have nothing to prove. They do some amazing shit, dude, from the late 70s through the 80s, like amazing. Did nothing. They've done it. They should just enjoy the money that they made and chill out.
Is this one of those things where like you just don't want to have a different perspective of them? You want to keep them where they are, kind of like me with Motley Crue.
You know what? Here's what I think, and I think Keith, what do you think about this? Like, I think bands like Led Zeppelin and the Police were really fucking smart. They stopped.
Yeah.
Like even the Police, their fans were begging them. So they did that like reunion tour, but they just played the hits. They didn't like try to go out and like be a band again and make new songs. They just went out. They did their thing to make a couple extra bucks. But pretty much when they did Synchronicity, that was it.
I think if the Police would have stuck around and tried to make another album after they had their little, falling out, I think somebody would have died, so that's probably the best thing.
Well, I think, too, that I just think that they had nothing to prove. Led Zeppelin has nothing to prove.
So just stop.
There's no reason. They're an amazing band. Are you kidding? This is the band that wrote fucking Stairway to fucking Heaven. You don't have to prove anything.
Just stop that.
You're great. Like, just chill. Like, go. I think that, like, and the people that were crying for that, really, the Page and Plant reunion that happened, like, in the mid to late 90s.
It was 1998.
Yeah. And
I was
that was your reunion of Led Zeppelin.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah, and there's great video of that on YouTube. You guys, anybody can go look it up. And they sound good. They look good. And that was enough.
Robert Plant could sing the songs then.
It was wonderful. I went to that show. I love that.
It's not going to happen now. He's admitted that you can give him $1 billion. He's not going to sing those songs.
No.
Yeah, can you blame him? Really?
If you go see his solo stuff, he does a lot of Led Zeppelin music. They reinvent it. They do it in that more of like Americana kind of like, and it sounds great, for that, But that's it. They're
But he's
done.
realistic though too.
Yeah,
He's not
totally.
gonna come out and sing goddamn a whole lot of love the way you want him to sing it. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Time catches up with everybody. You know,
Yeah.
he does the Zeppelin songs in his way. They're cool, they're stripped down, and they sound great. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so like I just think that Van Halen, like there's so many newer bands that are out. You guys should be listening to that and groove and looking forward to that. And go ahead and listen to your old Van Halen records and enjoy it. But that ship has sailed. Like, let's all let that go and get excited about new music because there's tons of great music. No, it's not on the radio,
Sorry.
but it's out there.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
However, Krista has an opinion on the Van Halen thing. He said maybe they want to do it to give the people that have never seen them live to get the chance to see them live. But do you want to see them live if they're not going to sound the way you want them to
Yeah,
sound?
you're gonna
Or
see
the way you
something-
expect them to sound?
The encore version of bullshit. That's what you're gonna see. I mean, it's not Van Halen.
Unfortunately.
The same bodies up there, but that's just not. You're not gonna see them on the top of their game. If you've seen them back in the day, that's great. Go watch a goddamn YouTube video or something.
Unfortunately, I'm younger and have had to see these bands way later, so I get to see the watered down versions of these bands. So that sucks, but
I never got to see the Beatles or Zeppelin, and that's just the way it is.
yeah, truth.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Did you see The Police?
Yes,
How was that?
amazing.
Ah. I could have answered that question for you, but yeah, I just don't.
They could have come out for 2 hours, and Sting could have farted in a mic, and I'd have been like, that was a goddamn good show. Yeah, they were
Stink.
phenomenal. They were just, and you've seen them. They sounded great, man. They played those songs to the best of their abilities. Sting still sounds good. He still sounds good today. The guy takes really good care of himself. His voice, he's always in great shape. He came out, he's energetic. The band just sounded phenomenal, and they rode off into the sunset, man. There's no more. Let it go. There's room for other bands to come out and do stuff.
Yeah.
There's a great band right now playing some tune somewhere that hopefully will make somebody.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think it's necessary for bands like Van Halen to I mean, I think that if Eddie, and we talked about this, I don't know if you were on or not, we talked about this on a previous show. I think that if Eddie wants to, Eddie's a great guitar player. If he's still passionate to make music, he should still make music.
Yeah.
He should go do something
Doesn't
if he
have to
wants
be
to
Van
do it.
Halen.
But it doesn't have to be like Van Halen as everybody envisions
Yeah.
it. I mean, look what, and I said this before, and I know Lily kind of disagreed with me, but look what Carlos Santana did in the 90s.
Ah.
I mean, I
I
know
was-
you don't
I was
like
actually
that, but
gonna say that.
he reinvented himself
Yeah.
and got younger people excited about his music. Maybe you didn't
The
like
only
it.
problem I had with it was when he went on tour for that same
Well, you
album.
couldn't do that. You have to do something different. Maybe you go out and just do a few select shows, or you do.
Yeah, which
nowadays
would've been better.
you could do Chicago, New York, Nashville,
The big ones.
L.A., London, and then just put a cool concert thing that you sign into on the internet and watch on
Yeah.
your surround sound TV at home and
I
enjoy
would have
it.
been okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, it could totally doable.
It's kind of like Queen with Adam Lambert thing. It's like I've seen it and it was awesome. He sounds great, but at the same time,
It's not the
talking
same.
I
American.
see. I don't know. I don't know if this is
But I
just.
think
Go ahead.
one and done would have been fine with me. Like they're doing it again, so it's like.
Well, yeah, that's probably because they made money.
The movie.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they
not
have a
money.
movie.
That movie made a gazillion dollars, so now they're gonna just cash on. But I would
Market
assume
that to
that
death.
I would assume those guys don't need any friggin' money. I don't know why but they're doing it again. So
Go back, Jack, and do it again. I think that maybe I'm wrong, and you tell me because you said you saw it. I didn't see it.
yeah, it was good. Good.
I kind of was under the impression that it was more of an homage, and not like we're trying to be Queen again, but we're sort of remembering the music and sort of paying tribute to Freddie Mercury, and that was the sort of vibe I got from it. No.
That's what it is. I mean,
Okay.
they're not going to go out and write new tunes. They're
Right.
going to play every damn song. They put Freddie's mug up on the screen for Bohemian Rhapsody, and he sings the middle part that nobody plays live. And there's only two members left. I mean, John Deacon's not in the band. It's Roger Taylor, it's Brian May, and Adam Lambert, and they have a couple other utility guys.
I did not know that Deacon wasn't playing.
He play, man. I don't even know where he's at. I don't think anybody does. He's like a recluse type dude, so I don't know like what he's done. Since
I was under the impression it was the original. I saw a few years ago a really good like Pink Floyd tribute. And what was very cool about it was they weren't trying to pretend like they were Pink Floyd. They actually were a tribute to Pink Floyd.
Who was it?
It was I believe the British Floyd.
Brit Floyd.
Brit
I
Floyd.
love them. I saw them.
And they did the whole thing. They had the screens and they gave you like documentary kind of information about the band as the songs played. And it was it was like a celebration of Pink Floyd music and not like, oh, we're going to pretend to be Pink Floyd. It wasn't like that at all. And I thought like if you're going to do a tribute to like an iconic artist or iconic band, like I felt like that was the way to do it. It was very tasteful.
I like that show. I saw.
I would recommend you. Are you a Pink Floyd fan at all, Keith? I don't remember.
That's a band I can take or leave. I like David Gilmour as a guitar player. I'm not a huge fan of theirs now.
I know you hate Bruce Springsteen.
I don't hate Bruce Springsteen. I think he's a great songwriter. I just don't.
You only love about 20 of his songs.
But he has 100 million. So if I like 20 out of 100 million, then that's not a good number.
Have you seen? There's a. This is on Netflix too. There's a. It's Springsteen on Broadway. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
Springsteen.
I think it's embarrassing. Honestly, Stu loved it. I thought it was embarrassing. Like I couldn't wait to walk out of the room and not look at it anymore. Like I felt like he was embarrassing himself.
Dude, he's not a great singer.
It's not that he didn't sound bad. He didn't sound bad. It was just like he acted older than he needed to act. First of all, he did the whole thing with the turn down mouth. This thing, like, I went back when I was living in Jersey.
I can't.
He did that whole thing, like, it felt like he was feigning that. It just was like, and
maybe his feet fell out.
Yeah, it was like he had like his dentures were loose or something, and it was just like I can't explain it. Like it was just like wasn't a good advertisement for rock, in my opinion. Like I thought it made rock look, but
like
it has tons of accolades, and all kind of people gave it great reviews. And I'm thinking like they want to suck Springsteen's wiener over it, but I just thought like I wish I could unsee it. Quite frankly.
People that like Springsteen, they really like Springsteen. Yeah. It doesn't matter what he does. There's people that are slaves to him, man. They just don't give a shit.
Dude, I'm a fan. I'm a fan, and I didn't like it. I'm a Bruce Springsteen. We've had this conversation many times.
But you're also a fan that knows music.
Yeah, I just thought it was just like, in my opinion, he just went the wrong way with it. Like it was too. It was like, all right, we're going to have Grandpa Springsteen come out for everybody now. I was waiting for him to say, what's for dinner, Grandpa?
Oh, my God.
We're going to have black-eyed peas, mashed potatoes, and pork chops.
Ring the bell, Bruce.
I can't handle you.
I was waiting for like the hee-haw chicks to jump up and go, Springsteen salutes my hometown of Ashtabula, Ohio.
Oh my God,
population 25. Salute! I was like, what are you doing? It was like Springsteen on Hee Haw.
I can't.
It was like,
shit.
Oh, dude, it was just. I think it's bad. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but I thought it was embarrassing. Just like, what are you doing? Like, just act. And this weird thing with his mouth, like, just act normal. You don't gotta go.
Just act normal.
Yeah, see, we was living out there in Asbury Park was one time, and I was just driving along trying to move my furniture. Some people call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade. That's what he was like. He was like Sling Blade.
All right, Dan.
All right, so.
You want some French? Bruce, you want some French fried potatoes?
All right,
that there mustard sauce.
I'm done with you two for the evening.
Okay,
mustard on my biscuit.
Before we wrap up, because we're having way too much fun. Keith, let's go around the room and say what music thing, rock thing, whatever, are you most looking forward to in 2019? It can be a personal thing, maybe a show you want to go to, maybe an album you want to record with your band, whatever.
I don't have one of those.
So whatever, it can be totally unique to each person. So we're going to start with the Hawkster. Hawkster, go.
I think isn't Tool putting out an album this year? Supposedly.
They've been doing it. I think they promised like the last 7 years.
So put it this way, Tool, if you're listening, I want an album this year. Damn it.
Oof, they're supposed to.
Yeah, I know.
Supposedly.
It's on my wish list for the last how long? Maybe we'll see. Cross our fingers.
This is just
man?
for you,
Wow,
Keith.
See, that's where you get me there, man. I can't drink. That's like fucking gasoline.
You two are a bad influence on each other when you drink together.
I missed you, brother, man. I missed you this year, man.
I will not mess with, man. That stuff will light your world up.
101 too. I cut a little water. I'm good.
Cuts it with water.
Lily, what are you kind of looking forward to or into this year?
I am looking forward to going to M3 because I'm making sure that's going to happen.
What's M3?
Oh, it's a rock festival, and it's all bands that, hold on, you're probably both gonna hate, and I don't really give a shit. So let me look.
Sorry, that's what makes the show go around.
Exactly. So it's Whitesnake, Extreme, Warrant, Skid Row, Vince Neil, Kicks, Autograph, Bang Tango, Danger Danger, Firehouse, Heaven's Edge, Kingdom Come, LA Guns, Quiet Riot, Steven Adler, Tora Tora, Vane, and Vixen.
And where is that going to be in Pittsburgh?
That is not in Pittsburgh. I think it's in Maryland.
Oh. And was it like that? Sounds like a multiple day festival.
It's like 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. May 3rd.
Some of those bands I would be interested in seeing. Quite frankly, I would be interested. I would
Danger. I would
like
to
to
see.
hear Kingdom Come.
Yes, that too.
I would like to see what band still has the most original members left.
Probably Whitesnake. Hold on, let me look here.
Is Doug Aldrich in Whitesnake?
I don't think currently.
Because he played with Dio towards the end. He's a great guitar player.
Well, Vixen doesn't have all their members because one of them's dead.
That's what I'm thinking. Like most of those people either.
It's fine though. I mean, that's all my scene, obviously. So
that guy, that new kid that plays with he's not new, but newer young kid that plays with Judas Priest now is really fucking good. I can't remember his name. He's a fucking badass. It's inspiring to me to hear guys like these, like young guys, like wanting to play like that type of stuff. You know, right up there with like Zach and those guys. What am I looking forward to? And I'm looking forward to discovering a lot more bands, and we're doing something really cool. I'm releasing a new song every month in 2019. And Keith, you've played on 5 of them at least.
There you go, buddy. Now we're talking.
So I sent you that one. We're mixing things and everything. You're going to hear more stuff. So we're doing one a month, and so I'm looking forward to that. And I also
play them on the show.
Yeah, and also I started a band.
yay!
Yep. Do you know Jared Evans?
Yeah.
You know him, the black guy sang with
Yeah.
Super Monkey. Well, he and I are working together.
That's
good.
cool,
Jared's
dude.
a good singer, good entertainer.
He doesn't want to sing. He wants to play bass. He's like, no, you sing. I'm just going to play bass. I'm like, all right, whatever you want to do. So it's fun. We're looking for a drummer.
I'm unavailable.
I can see that. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to all that stuff. It's going to be 2019 is going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a good year.
Always. It's going to be a good year. It is a good year. So far, it's off to a great start. I mean, we're doing this. How much better can it get? Okay, any plugs? You guys want to plug anything before we get the fuck out of here?
I know maybe it's good or bad for some people, but I think at the end of maybe starting in February, I might be doing this more. Like the good old days.
Doing this? You mean jerking off? Oh, you mean the podcast. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Jerking off, I leave to my private self. So it's none of your business.
That's good.
But
I love you, but I don't want to see all that.
What did you guys think about and I ran this by Keith, and I'll run it by you too, as a possible future podcast. Pop artists or artists of a different genre that should have done a rock project.
That's fun. That's kind of fun.
So let's do that. Let's kind of like put that for the future, maybe. So like Keith and I were throwing a few ideas around, just like people you go like, oh, you're great, but you should do a rock thing. Like if you did a rock thing, you'd be like fucking amazing. Your pop shit's it's all right, or your country stuff's it's all right.
But try this.
But do a rock thing, So that's a future idea. Okay, Keith, I'm sorry. You want to plug it? You got anything you want to plug? Anything going on? Or?
Just kind of doing my thing down here, just gigging whenever. So.
All right. Black Laurel. Does Black Laurel have a website? Are you still working with these guys?
Just Reverb Nation. I have to go to rehearsal actually.
Okay. All right, guys. And Lily, go ahead to plug your show and everything you got going on.
My show is Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, Hot Licks with Lily 6 on Rock Rage Radio. Every time. Every time.
You can find the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus every Sunday at noon on Rock Rage Radio. There's a great replay. Plus, we're like all over the place. So if you missed it live, you should be hanging out with us live.
Because it's way more fun.
It's way more fucking fun. But there's always the replays, Rock Rage Radio, and then we're all over the place. We're on iTunes. We're on Podbean. If you go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, you can check that all out. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, look out because we're just about ready to launch our Patreon, and there's going to be exclusive stuff like really cool guys. I have really cool T-shirts just for us that nobody else can get. You're going to get them exclusive shit, and you guys, you're going to love. These are really badass. You're going to love them. So there's some cool stuff going down. So just stick around. Carrie and I are like finalizing some shit. I'm going to need to talk to you about some stuff afterwards, but
okay.
So we got some stuff going on. Anyways, guys, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com is the website. Check back often. We want a special shout out to Rock Rage Radio for bringing us into the family. It's a great group of people over there. It's really fun. Follow them on Facebook. If you love great rock and you go like, I can't wait for the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. I want to know what the new rock is, what's going on. Just get into Rock Rage Radio. They play tons of great bands that are up and coming that you need to know about. Not Van Halen. So if you're like, you can save your Van Halen records for like a Sunday afternoon when you're shit-faced or something like that. If you want to find new music, you can check out Rock Rage Radio. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Special thanks to my good brother, Keith the Hawk Hawkins. It's so great to have you back, and we are hoping that happens and we can get you back on a regular basis. So, and Lily V6, guys. The Sixter is hanging out with us. So, all right, guys, we are going to wrap up with one last band. I don't know. There's something going on with my email today. I can't get people sending me emails. So this is a band called Helios. And you go to HELIVS. There's using the Latin version of the U, I believe. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So HELIVS. And this is a track. We're just going to stream it from the website. And I have no control over the volume and stuff.
So it's a crapshoot here.
So it's a crapshoot. So we're going to see what happens here. But check them out. This is a track called Destiny. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you guys all in the next Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus.
I got to roll. Let's see it.
You taking off?
Yeah, I got to go.
Take care, brother. Happy New Year.
You too.